Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to start working on several labs for AZ300 Microsoft Azure Architect Technologies certification exam. All of the labs, they're available on the GitHub from Microsoft Learning, and just to keep all the videos short and manageable, I'll be creating one video for each task. Like task 1 is going to be covered in one video, and the next video you will have the task 2. Sometimes if the tasks are small enough, we'll combine both tasks in one video and maybe try to keep the exercise 1 in one video and then do exercise 2 for the next one, and so on. So welcome to this series. If you're here, most likely you are trying to prepare for the AZ300 exam, just like myself. So this video series, I'm doing it as I'm preparing for the exam myself. I have my AZ900, AZ103 and AZ500 certifications done, and I'm working on my 300 and 301 examinations. So let's get started. So in this lab, what we want to do is manage Azure subscriptions and resources. And as you see, this lab is all about exploring monitoring capabilities in Azure. Now for all of these labs, you get a scenario. For this particular lab, our scenario is Adatum Corporation wants to explore monitoring capabilities in Azure. So what are the objectives? We are going to learn how to deploy Azure VM scale sets, and then we will implement monitoring and alerting by using Azure Monitor. Okay, and they have given us some username and password for the lab, so let's first just store it in some place if we need to reuse it. All right, so let's start with this. Deploy Azure VM skill sets. Now, one thing that I would like to say here, that Azure environment is changing very fast. So sometimes you will see that we'll probably get stuck with some of these instructions. The reason being, some of the item or button that they have listed in this lab, when they prepared it, it was probably working, but by the time we are doing this lab, some of the features may have changed. So sometimes you have to use it and kind of guess and just look around and figure out, okay, it used to be this, what is it now? Okay, the other problem that you can run across is the problem with the limitation. So depending on what kind of account you're using in this COVID situation, okay, some of these machines they're deploying, you may have to choose a much lighter version virtual machines for your deployment, or you may reach a quota and you may not be able to deploy the environment that you need to complete these labs. So we will try to solve the problem as we see things like that if we come across. If you have seen my videos with the AZ500 series or 101 series, you probably have already seen that I had given recommendation on how to change the lab setup to some extent to have a deployment environment that you can work on. Alright, so that's lots of introduction in this video. This is the first video, so I just wanted to give you everything that you need to know. So from the next video, I won't probably be giving you all this introductory start. We'll start the lab right away, but let's get to the lab now. Alright, deploy an Azure VM scale set by using Azure QuickStart template. So what they're saying for this lab virtual machine, start Microsoft Edge, browse to Azure portal. So I don't have Microsoft Edge, but I can go to the portal and sign in using the Microsoft account that has the owner role in the target Azure subscription. So this is my Azure environment. Okay, let's just refresh it, see if I'm still logged in. So to go to your Azure, just go to portal.azure.com and just give your username and password, and I'm already logged into this one and I am the subscription owner, so I should be good. So if I just go to subscription, I have one subscription that is active and I can work with this subscription. Okay, so let's come back to the lab. So in the Azure portal, in the Microsoft Edge window, start a PowerShell within the Cloud Shell. Okay, if you're presented with the you have no storage mounted message, show advanced setting, then configure storage using the following setting. Alright, so let's do that. Let's see if but I already have a storage enabled, so let's see what I need to do. So if I click on this, it says welcome to Cloud Shell, and they're saying let's try our PowerShell. It says you have no storage mounted. That's good. So that's what they kind of wanted. So what the lab is saying, that show advanced setting, then configure the storage. So let's see if there is an option for advanced settings. So advanced settings, so click on that button right there, and here now you have this window where you can configure the way you want your storage account to work. Alright, so let's go back to this. So we want subscription, the name of the target Azure subscription. So that should be pretty simple. So that's already selected. Cloud Shell region, let's see what region they are recommending us. Cloud Shell region, name of the region that is available in your subscription and which is closest to the lab location. So I have been using East US and I'm kind of like this. A lot of features is available in this region, and I had no problem. Even during this COVID situation, I was able to do a lot of work. So I'm going to use the East US even for this lab. Let's see the next one, Cloud Shell region, then resource group, name the new resource group at this. Okay, so let's get that. So go back over here, resource group, so you can use existing or create new. So click that button, and here we got our resource group right here, and then storage account. So let's see what they're trying to say for the storage account, name of the new storage account. And a lot of time you will see there is a nomenclature guideline, so it has to be between 3 and 24 characters. So let's try something like maybe AZ300 store, and then I'll put something like a basu, and that's gonna be your storage account. And let's see if I need a file share, name of the new file share called Cloud Shell. This one does not have to be unique. I can use this name for my file share. So see, if once you have enabled and entered all of the information, this button create storage is now available. So let's see one more time before we click. Yeah, so that's everything is good. So we can now click on create storage. So it should now be creating the storage, and most likely it's going to give us the window now, the PowerShell window, and we can start working on that window. I work in a Ubuntu environment. I'm more like a Linux person, but if you're using Windows, so far there is no change. So you can do everything that I'm doing here using even a Mac or Windows. You can do the same thing. So it's almost getting there. So let's go back to the lab and see what is our next step. So it's saying from the Cloud Shell pane, run the following command to identify unique DNS domain name with any alphanumeric string starting with a letter and no longer than 9 characters, which is likely to be unique, and the placeholder with the name of Azure region in which you intend to deploy resources in the lab. Okay, so this is interesting. So think about what this command is doing. So this is the PowerShell commandlet, and it's a taste, the verb, and AZ means Azure, DNS availability. So this command has all the code that you need to do, and this command takes couple parameters or arguments, the domain name label, and you're gonna put a domain name, and location you're gonna put East US. So if I put google.com, what do you think is gonna happen? So let's try that out. Maybe just put it over here and just configure. So domain label, I'm just gonna start google.com. and location I'm gonna put East US. Okay, let's see if this command, what is going to be the output of that command. So here, and paste, and there we go. So it says bad request, the domain name goal is invalid, it must conform to the following regular expression. So it's saying my name is not valid. So let's see what is the guidance for the domain name that they're asking. Substitute the placeholder with any alphanumeric character starting with a letter and no longer than 9 characters. So let's just say Google. Okay, and let's try this one out and see what is the output that we see. So we know that we cannot use, so that's now say false. So what is this domain available? It's saying false. So now we need to figure out one label that is available to us. So let's try out now something that meaningful to our lab. So let's see, AZ300, what should the DNS, and then put ABA, so that has to be available. Yeah, so now this DNS label, it says true, so we can use this. So we have successfully run this command. So like, I'm just going to copy this one and save it, so we know that this is the command that was successful, and I'm going to just save it as 300 labs. Okay, and then save it. All right, so we have saved that. So let's go back to the lab. So we are done up to this point. Then verify that the command return true. We have already verified. And note that the value of the custom label that resulted in the successful outcome, you will need that in the next task. That's wonderful because we have already done that. So this is the value that we have used. Now on the lab computer in the Azure portal, search and select template deployment. And so let's go. If you have never done template deployment, that's pretty cool. So just type template deployment and deploy a custom template. Look, see, so this one, as I said at the very beginning, some of the stuff, they're a little bit different. So template deployment you will not find. So deploy a custom template is what you need to select. So select that one. So we are down to this portion of this lab. So let's make sure, where are we? We are here. Deploy from a custom template. Deploy using custom. You see that the language is pretty similar, but not exactly the same. All right, on the custom deployment blade, in the select a template disclaimer drop down list, type 201 VMSS bottle autoscale. Okay, I have not used this template, so select a template disclaimer. So let's type this one and see. Yeah, so we got that one, 201. So I have now copied that template. Okay, so once I copied that template, and it says, look at that, the template is going to get from the GitHub QuickStart template, and this template is going to deploy a VM scale set of Linux virtual machines behind a load balancer with NAT rules, okay, for SSH connection. Each VM runs a Python bottle application that can trigger auto scaling activity based on defined rules. Who is the author of this template? Is that person, and the template was last updated in December of 2019. Okay, so those are all the details that you can get from here. So let's go back in here. So we have already selected this. So we are done up to this point. In the Azure portal, on the deploy VM scale set with Python bottle server autoscale blade, specify the following setting and initiate the deployment. So what typically happens when you have this selected, when you select the template, it will open up and give you another window where oftentimes you will be given additional things that you need to configure. So let's try it out. Okay, so some of these fields, they're empty, but a lot of fields, they're automatically pre-populated for you. Okay, so let's see, what do we need to fill out. So come over here. So subscription, it's automatically filled out. So this is the resource group. Okay, the name of a new resource group. So let's create a new resource group. and put that resource group name. Okay, so that's the resource group that we're going to create for this deployment. Location, whatever location we have chosen, so I have chosen the East US, so I'm going to use East US. It's already there. That's excellent. So let's see, VMSKU is telling to use D2S V3. So D1 V2 is what is selected. So let's just copy and change this to standard D2S V3. VMS's name, so what is the name of your deployment is going to be, name the custom label you identified. So here is where you are going to use the custom label that we have identified. So this is the name. So let's copy this one and let's come back here and put it right in here. Now instance count, in this scale set, how many instances do you want to deploy? Right now they're telling just one. So let's do one. And what is the problem here? The value must have a length of at most 9. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, it's more than 9. Why is it giving me, oh, it's saying at most 9, so I have to find a name that is less than 9. So let's go back to our PowerShell and let's try out some more stuff, because that is not gonna help us too much. So let's see if Azure DNS, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, this is still too much. So AB DNS Basu, so let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this is a 9, so this is true. So let's copy this one. We're gonna use this name instead of the other one. So let's just move and let's use this name. And again, for this name we verified this DNS parameter, or what DNS domain name label is available. So let's use that one for our deployment. So let's minimize that one more time. Let's put it here. Okay, now I got a green mark. All right, so then admin username, they're telling just use student, so I'm going to use student. Authentication type, they are choosing password, and here is the password that we're going to use. I'm going to store that information as well. And put it over here. I think that's all you needed to configure, and last thing you need to do is to click on the agree to the terms and conditions stated above. Okay, so let's come back over here and agree to the terms and conditions, and then we just have to click on purchase. So note that when you click on purchase, it will go through a validation. If the validation is successful, it will automatically start the deployment. It's not gonna stay, yeah, the validation is successful, do you want me to deploy? It's not gonna do that. So pretty much if you click on it and if the validation is successful, it will go on deploying the machine. So let's try that one out. So I have clicked validation. You see it says validating. So it has not started the deployment yet. And you will see for a second, flash of a second, there will be a green, yeah. I don't know if you saw that, but there was a green thing that said validation successful. It didn't stop. Immediately, if you go over here to the notification bar, it says deployment in progress. Now, in few minutes, the deployment will be done. So let's see what task is remaining. So we have completed this. Wait for the deployment to complete. It would take about 5 minutes. So it's saying it's going to take about 5 minutes. Now, I think it will only make sense if we review the auto scaling setting as part of this video. So I'm going to pause the video. Once this deployment is done, we're going to come back and we're going to finish up the task 2. And at that time, we're going to stop the video and end this video right at that point. And in the next set of videos, we'll start working on the exercise 2. Okay. So if you like the video, please subscribe. Like, if you have any comments, please feel free to add comments. I'm always looking for, improving myself with this kind of videos and learning from all of you. So please share your knowledge, and if you're preparing for the exam, good luck. Thank you. Alright, we are back with the deployment is done. So how do you know? In here, if you see the notification bar, you see now this button is now enabled and it says deployment succeeded. So let's go to the resource group and take a look at it, what we have got. Alright, so if you come over here, you see that you have few resources in here, and every single different resource within Azure, they have a unique icon associated with them. So if you look at this icon right here, that means that it's a virtual machine scale set. It also gives you the type right here. It has a load balancer and it's got a public IP address and also a virtual network available to us. So our deployment is now done. So what do we need to do? We need to review the auto scaling setting of the Azure VM scale set. Okay, so let's do that. In the Azure portal, we are in here. So let's go to that one, Azure VM scale set, and we'll look at the scaling blade. So click on this one. So that's going to give you the resource that you have deployed. This is the virtual machine scale set, and scaling is under settings. This is the feature that we want to review as part of this lab. Okay. So you have two different options mainly. If you see the under configuration, you can either manually scale it or you can use a custom auto scale for this virtual machine scale set resource. Okay, so now let's see what they're asking us to do. Saying note that the virtual machine scale set is configured to scale dynamically based on metric using the following criteria. So scale out and scale in. So let's review because of this auto scale is selected. Here is the scale out, and it's automatically the rule that is applied is when this AZDNS basu average percent CPU is greater than 60%, it's going to increase the scale set by 1. The scale out and scale in is when the CPU usage is less than 30%, is going to decrease by 1. Instance limits, minimum is 1 and that's what we configured. Maximum is 10. By default it's 1. So let's see what they're saying. Modify the maximum number of instances to 3 and save your changes. So since this is a lab environment, we really don't have to go up to 10. So let's just move this to 3, and they're saying that's good enough, and then just save the lab. So what we have done so far, so after completing this exercise, you have deployed the Azure VM scale set and reviewed auto scaling setting. So what I would recommend, I'm going to end this lab right here, but you should spend some more time looking at the manual scale, and maybe we'll come across in the lab. We haven't done the lab completely. So but for that GitHub lab, this is all you needed to configure as part of exercise 1. So again, I'm going to stop the video here, and I hope that I'm going to meet you in the next video to do the next section of the exercise. Again, don't forget to subscribe, share and comment. Thank you.